Hey guys, it's Alan, and I'm coming at you from my mother-in-law's basement. Baseball cards. It's been a while since I have filmed because we are still out of the house as our renovation and construction continues at our home. So I am relegated to my mother-in-law's basement, and all I've got is this little card table that she has. So I haven't been filming in a while. I have been picking up some stuff, so I want to kind of ramp up the videos again, show off what I've picked up, and as I get ready for kind of show season. We have Shriners coming up in a little bit less than 2 weeks now. Psyched for that. That's the big Massachusetts area show. And then I do have a Airbnb scheduled for Strongsville in April. So 2 big card shows. I'm trying to save up for both. Make some pretty big purchases I'm hoping to make there. But I've got some stuff that I picked up over the last month that I want to show off. Some projects I've been working on. And again, my channel is really, I just kind of show off what I'm collecting and talk about the players or the cards and the why and, the significance for me. One, this is a long time coming, but right around my birthday in September, I went to National Card Investors, which is a card shop in Northborough, Massachusetts. It specializes in vintage, and I made some pickups that I just kind of want to show off. 2 cards that I didn't know existed, including my first strip card. And yeah, just wanted to make a video about them. They've been sitting in that bag since I picked them up about a month ago. So the first thing is that for making a $20 purchase, Jeff, who is the owner of the store, he will actually be at Shriners, booths number 252, 253, and 254. So kind of in the back to the left as you enter. He usually has like kind of a giveaway if you make a couple purchases or spend $20. So the purchase of the giveaway was just a nice 1984 Nolan Ryan. I have it. This is a pretty decent condition. The corners are sharp. So this will find my way when I have a card room and can start organizing by player. This will go nicely in there. So that was free, which was nice. And then he's got on his shelves just rows, not rows and rows, but like a nice section of all the traded sets from back in the day. And so one that I had my eye on when I went last summer and that I picked up was the 81 traded set in the box. A little bit of discoloration on the front. The tape is off, but when we pulled back the lid, you can see that it is still collated, factory collated, so it's been untouched. I haven't gone through the cards yet. I don't know what that schmutz is. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do. The Valenzuela card and the Tim Raines card in here are beautiful. All these box sets from the 80s were just, when I was growing up, they were the greatest things. And so to get the first one, these, of course, is the first traded set. It was the first hobby-specific release, I believe, ever, where it was sold to hobby shops directly versus through the consumer, grocery stores, convenience stores, whatnot. Although this one has the 2 rookies, they're not considered rookies. In future years, it would become like Rookie Card Haven, these boxes. So when I was growing up, these were just the best. And so when I see those, I kind of, big nostalgia feel. Although that doesn't carry a ton of value now, it always feels valuable to me. And so I'm kind of thinking that I want to put together the run. I've got now the 81. I'm missing 82, 83. I've got 84, 85, 86, 87. I broke up 88. I've got 89. 90 is a piece of trash. I'm missing maybe 1 or 2 cards, and I don't really care. I'd like to get 91, 92, and maybe 93. I think that's the general run of the traded. And I'm not sure what I want to do. When I was packing my stuff away before we moved out, I've got the 84 in binder pages. I've got the 86 in binder pages. And I was kind of thinking maybe taking my sets out and putting them all in binder pages and making a binder of the traded sets. But I also like keeping them in boxes. So another thing I could do is put them in the binder, keep the boxes, and make a display out of the boxes. Because again, when I used to go to card shops, and apparently still do because I picked this one up, I love the look of the boxes, and the box sets are so cool. So I guess I'd throw this out there to add in the comments, like, what do you guys do with your traded sets? Do you just keep them in the boxes, or do you put them as a binder set? I'd love ideas for display, because I would like to do something with them, either display them in the boxes as a card store would in my room. I am getting a sports room, by the way, or make a binder of all the traded sets, and just keep the boxes and maybe display the boxes empty. I'm not sure what to do. I'm still kind of toying with it. Love to hear what you have to say. So then I made 2 just general single pickups. The first one is my first ever strip card, and it is a W514 strip card of Steffi McGinnis, who was an infielder for the Red Sox first base here. I've always been iffy on the strip cards. It's a blank back, but you can see some of the printing moves through. Really, it depends on the image for me. This image, for some reason, although I typically don't like images that aren't based on photographs, when I found this, he just had a stack of strip cards. I was interested in it. I just thought it was neat. He was also, Stephen McGinnis was part of the $100,000 infield for the A's, Connie Mack's A's, in the early part of the 19-teens. And so this kind of struck me. The colors were really nice. I didn't notice and still don't notice much creasing, maybe a little one there. Otherwise, I think this is cut really well. Probably Grade and Authentic because I don't see any lines, and I think that's what they go on. But I thought it looked really cool. I didn't have any strip cards until this. So I thought this fit nicely into my Red Sox tobacco era collection that I'm putting together. McGinnis was on the 1918 Red Sox that won the World Series. He was also on the 1911, 1913, 1914 A's and the 1925 Pirates. All of those are pennant winners. He won 4 World Series in his career. And so, yeah, it was a pretty cool card. I think the image is kind of neat, to be honest, and maybe it's just the Red Sox slant and that I'm starting to enjoy it. Another significant thing is that in Game 1 of the 1918 World Series, McGinnis drove in the only run of Babe Ruth's 1-0 victory. So I thought this was a nice card. Wasn't one that I was expecting to add to that collection, which is approximately 36 cards that represent early Red Sox history that I'm trying to put together and we'll have in a case. So I thought that was neat. $50. Jeff always knocks a few dollars off. But I thought that was fair. Pretty cool card to represent my first strip card. But the next one was one that I'm super psyched to have found. He had just bought, and I think that's where the McGinnis came from, but he just bought out someone's collection who was basically a Red Sox collector. We're trying to get all the Red Sox cards ever. And so I didn't know this card existed. He wasn't even on my list for my project. But he's a very significant player in Red Sox history. It's going to be a fan craze card, ungraded. Usually these can be found in pretty high grade. This one's not the most high grade, but it's still pretty awesome. And it was former first baseman and right fielder Buck Freeman. So I honestly didn't know about this card or that he had any cards from this era. It's from 1906. And so when I saw this, I was just kind of like, whoa. And I had to look up Freeman's stats to see if he was on the teams that I'm collecting. And he was. He was on the 1903 Red Sox that won the first World Series, of course. He did lead the league in home runs that year with 13. He led the league in RBIs that year with 104. He also led the AL in RBIs in 1902 with 121. He was also on the first Red Sox team in 1901. He hit 339 that season. So pretty significant for Buck Freeman. And I was just dumbfounded when I found this just because I didn't know this existed. It shows its age, but it's still a really cool card. What are we talking about? 119 years old at this point. But very cool. And he actually, which I thought was really neat, held the major league record for home runs until Babe Ruth beat him in 1919. Buck Freeman hit 25 home runs in 1899. I think playing for the Boston Braves or whatever they were called at the time. I'm not quite sure on that. And then Babe Ruth beat him out in 1919 by hitting 29 home runs. So before Ruth, he was the major league leader in home runs, which I thought was really cool. So I picked that up. I thought $75 was more than fair. I didn't haggle on price. And it was fabulous finding a card of a player from the 1903 Red Sox that I didn't know he had cards. So added him up. And that's getting me closer to completing that collection. I'm hoping maybe at either Shriners or Strongsville to add a very low grade authentic T206 Cy Young, which would finish out my 1903 Red Sox run. Hoping to spend between $900 and $1,000 on it, which I think is possible with the right condition. So, looking for something decently presentable, but obviously I'm expecting creases, maybe some paper loss on the back, maybe a little bit in the right spot on the front. That's going to be my big hunt for those two shows. And that'll finish out my 1903 Red Sox run. I don't think there's anyone on that team that has tobacco era cards that I don't already have. But yeah, this is what I picked up. This was kind of like a birthday present to myself back in September. Two players on some significant Red Sox teams. First World Series 1903, last World Series before 2004, the 1918 Red Sox first strip card. And it's funny because I had another fan craze card of Ozzie Schreckengost, who wasn't on the championship teams, but he was on the first Red Sox team in 1901, that I was planning on having in that display, and Buck Freeman is going to bounce him out of that display. So I just thought that was kind of funny, share that with Jeff, that I didn't know that guy existed in the fan craze set. I hadn't really done a lot of research on it, so when it was in his display and popped up, it was just awesome. So those are my pickups from like a month ago. Hopefully I'm gonna make some more videos in the coming weeks just showing what I've been picking up in September and October. Another big project that I started and completed without making a single video about it, so I'm just gonna make probably one video. We'll see how I present that. And then some other big pickups that I just haven't gotten around to reporting and sharing with you guys. So if you've still been watching, still follow my channel, I appreciate it. Love to know what you guys do with your traded sets. And I'd also love to hear what other projects you guys are working on, and if anyone does any like tobacco era projects or team projects like that. You know, my 36 card display I think will be pretty cool and show some really good early Red Sox history. So I'll talk to you again soon. Bye guys.